So surely I feel sad because I don't have much free time at the moment. And through my calculations, through my careful calculations, I could save 10% of that lost time if I just switch jobs. It sounds like something a little harder. Oh boy, it's really annoying. Dysfunctional jobs everywhere. You just can't avoid them, apparently. And they all come as a cost of migration, let's put it that way. There's no scarcity of workers if the employees are not pressured into building better systems. Well, it's just gonna fucking suck. If they're not trying to be attractive, but just keep the slavery going, just because they have authority, because nobody's capable of building businesses, everyone should be able to build a business on the side, right? Oh, I'll just build a business on the side. I'm going to be selling this and this. And that's it. Everyone should be able to do it. And the government should only interfere when it gets out of control. It's like the government has to notice, not the people have to bow to the government. And so the system is just broken. Everything is just broken. And the government is just going to keep going. And the same goes for Europe banning the internet. The internet is officially banned. That's pretty cool. Not memes. I mean, the move that they made is just unbelievably vicious in order to, well, tax people. It's kind of interesting. And burden people. It's interesting because I don't understand it too much. I would actually need to research more about this. Article 13. What is a better number to pick than 13 these days? Jesus Christ. Okay, so this episode is going to be a rewind of all the episodes I've done. It's supposed to be a little bit longer than regular 20 minutes. So, because I need to cover a lot. I need to cover all 48 of these episodes. And then there's going to be somewhat special episode. Now, I can only fit in 30 minutes. Apparently, my phone doesn't allow longer videos. I guess I would achieve lower quality, longer videos, because it's all determined by size, how it chops. Whenever it starts cutting the video, I think it determines by size. Let's say 10 gigabytes. Oops, we need to start a new video. 10 gigabytes is too much. It's actually more like 1 gigabyte per video or something. Anyways. So I've started with 1010. And I'm sort of gonna finish with 1010. Or rather, pay attention. Pay attention to what my first episode was about and what kind of inspired me to do this in the first place, what get the ball rolling, which should very much be respected. In the first episode, I remember it was called 1010's Pathetic Strategy or something. And she basically lost against Tamari because as I figure out, Ten's personality is simply following emotions, right? It's an overly emotional person. And once you figure that out, it's fairly simple to understand why she chooses certain strategies, which is just throwing stuff at random, but being very accurate at what you do, very good at what you do. But those skills are just used randomly, and you hope that something hits. But because you're being so inconsiderate in your strategy, and you just throw things at random without much of an actual strategy behind it, you end up losing to people who can figure that out, right? If they figure out that you're just using something at random, and Tamari uses the strategy of figuring people out, right? She likes to have authority. When you figure out a person, you have authority over them. In a way, yeah, that reminds me of my secret personality. Deep down, perhaps I'm just a wind person that also wants to figure people out, wants to read them deep down. And I embrace that kind of too much, maybe. Oof. Yeah, it's very complicated when you start mixing personalities in, because this is still not finished theory, but it's working and it's building up. I can't wait for the next insight, basically, because anything will be huge. Anything more that gets confirmed through testing and observation is going to be big. So again, Tenten simply lost, and you see like a direct counter. Tenten was figured out, and she didn't had anything else to fight with anymore. She could only ramp up her power level. That's it. It was over. But Shikamaru was sort of showing, the capacity for strategy, for constant strategizing. And he almost beat Tamari, but he kind of lost. And it's sort of confusing because he had everything going on for him, but at the same time, he almost made an incredible impression on Tamari, and he won in a long run. And that's what I kind of captured. It's like a very, very subtle move, but like, jeez, the way things played out in the end, you know what? Shikamaru might have won more than we have thought in that fight. Might have predicted some crazy things. If obviously he liked Tamari in the first place, and if you crush a person, well, you have a choice. Do you want to keep that person around or not? Depending on their power level as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool relationship, nothing special, but it's very interesting how it played out. So then I shifted the focus on PewDiePie and figured that because he's a wind personality, because he's so similar to my friend, I was going to figure out how to expose him, right? Look into his videos and figure out just deep down, because PewDiePie doesn't get a lot of hate. He sort of dodges a lot of bullets most of the time. Because there was so much talk about Tamari, now I needed to shift on some kind of wind person, and I wanted to figure out how to actually expose PewDiePie at the same time sort of exposing Tamari as well, perhaps. And I just can't do it to this day, to be honest. And it's going to be a big breakthrough when I actually do it, but I can't. Then I shifted to Antoinem because I joined his Discord channel, and immediately I have sent a video. The moment when I contacted Michael McChill, and I figure out what... I started a little bit of drama, said that Minecraft was dying. Then I got a chance for an hour conversation with Michael McChill, which is an editor of Antonyms. And I might have caused Michael to actually get a little bit crazy to the point where he lost his editor post, or he got fired but rehired later on, because Michael always knows how to manipulate Antonyms. So, see, that's a theory, obviously, but this is the way I feel, because I definitely have a lot of influence, like definitely, and I understand what influence means. Just being able to interact with anyone and be serious about it, you will influence them regardless. Honesty is very rare in the world, so anytime you're being honest and the people cannot figure out whether you're honest or not, when it hits them that you were in fact very serious, that's a successful interaction that's very memorable and influential. And I do feel like that's what I did. And I've been able to bring up the same thing to Antoine, and he made a joke about it. It's like, oh, you broke up with Michael McChill? I never thought about this. You should just do that for my amusement. And he did. He just posted a joke, obviously. But to me, it was like a smirk, right? It's like, yeah, I did it because of you. Obviously, Antoine doesn't fucking even know me, probably. But that was pretty interesting, to say the least. To just jump into a community and do so much damage, so much influence, that was weird. And it's very interesting how Michael was so paranoid. The moment I jumped out, the moment I finished the video, I jumped back into the community and I said, I just got Michael McChill. And he came back and looked into my comment and is like, stop bringing up drama or something. It's like so stupid. Like, really? People didn't even give a fuck about this comment, and this guy is just paranoid about the fact that I even brought it up. Because he's the only one who knows it, but again, overall, people just don't give a fuck. It's just a comment. Nobody's gonna ask me, oh, what happened. Maybe I would say, oh, I don't want to talk about it, but like I wouldn't reveal it. And see, you gotta get those triggers until, yes, I did start a drama, right? If nobody wants drama, then what can I do? So it is a bit paranoid. I understand that every single time you light up a match, you can actually start a fire, but it's like, dude, I'm responsible. I'm holding a match. It's not yet, everything is not yet on fire. Nothing yet catched on fire, so there's no reason to be paranoid. And that's kind of his personality as well. It sort of reveals his personality. But I'm not sure about this side, of the paranoid side. Obviously, an authority person is going to always feel paranoid because nobody else has authority, you know? Oh, you're holding a match. That is dangerous right there. So, and obviously had this stupid phrase, I don't want to be an asshole, but, or I don't want to shit on you, but, because he always tries to be nice, and that's kind of how he manipulates people. By being nice, he sort of tries to read. But it only works against emotional people, against people who have the strategy to throw random skills, just like Tintin did. And all the shit that he said is just nonsense, obviously. Minecraft is dying, and vaccines are dangerous because you don't know what you get. It's just common sense, man. And Minecraft is dying is because it's popular now, but its popularity is because it was popular, and it's still like still a good game because, well, it's still being developed, right? So it's not going away. It's like World of Warcraft. It's garbage, but maybe some people are still playing it, still being developed. People are still gonna come back because they have associated with the game. I don't know because I haven't experienced that, but I have experienced similar things. Especially with Minecraft, new things come out. As I'm associated, I sort of tend to come back. Even with Hearthstone, any new expansion, I still watch the videos, but I don't play the game. And I would still play the game if I had it. I simply just didn't download it, to be honest. I would actually just run it up, see what's up. So then I looked into myself, into my depression. Obviously, the moment this personality circle is revealed, I kind of need to analyze myself a little bit. And I did to a certain extent. I have tagged myself as having a lot of anger, and I want to kind of release that anger. But I also realized later on that depression is about what you want. It's about looking into the future and being angry at how things are right now, and that's how you use anger, to generate ideas. It's very useful, and you shouldn't give up to your emotions. Your emotions are generators of something useful, and if you give up, well, the life totally crushes you, and it pulls you into depression when you're angry on everything and you cannot do anything about it. It's like, if you cannot do anything about it, just stop being depressed, stop caring about emotions that completely took you over. Yeah, it's a really fine balance that you have to find, where you just take enough emotions and work just hard enough to be busy and not bored. It's like, that's it. The ultimate change, I'm actually not sure. What is this about? So I'll just going really seriously though. But there's one last thing that needs to change for the system to start collapsing and everyone agreeing for such. What? Didn't actually answer the question. Jeez. Women gossip. Also very confusing. It's like, I just discovered that women like to gossip. Congratulations, women have some kind of weapon of choice. And everyone knows that. In a way, I had a dream, and yet I can't remember this one properly. So you can see that some episodes that might actually suck. And I brought up Sweet for the first time. It's a person that has an interesting story with me, and I sort of try to save her, and she was water personality, and how, you bring the stories like so interesting when you bring personalities instead of actual people, because then you can start relating things a little better. What happened with me and water personality? What happened when I had a chance? Also, how Monica rejected me, and she's a wind personality, I believe. I still don't know for sure, which sucks. And there are a few girls that rejected me, but now I double thought, and I remember a few times when I was accepted and actually questioned. Do I have a girlfriend? Why don't I show my interest to a girl or whatever? And those are cool little moments, absolutely. But it sort of makes me question even more, because one of the biggest questions is why dating is rigged, right? And it's something that I've covered as well. I'm going to come to that very soon. Bazaar is a shitty card game simply because Renats, for some reason, thought that, oh, you can just make another multiplayer game, which doesn't make sense because the only reason why Hearthstone was capable of being a multiplayer game and being successful is because, first of all, it already had a community, it already had players, and most importantly, it could get away with it. Hearthstone was a fresh new thing. It was a digital card game. There were no really decent digital card games. I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day. Like 2011 World Championship. That was one of the best games of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I still played it today. Another version of the championship. The newer one. So, I'm still interested in card games. It's just, I was disappointed in Hearthstone being only multiplayer. It's just so annoying. And I don't want to deal with the balance issues just because I'm trying to compete against other players. Like, there's always going to be this stupid issue of balance. It's just annoying. I can't have fun. There's a whole another topic about this. Don't look down is simply the idea that you shouldn't look down and be scared. Just move forward. But it gets deeper than that, obviously. It's just, what are they gonna think about me? You can have doubts, but if you gotta do it, you just do things. You don't care, right? What looking down is gonna do good to you? You only use awareness to attract good things in a way. That's very useful to be focused that way. The hate speech in Central... Yeah, I definitely will not have time to cover everything. So it's kind of like a sad episode right there. I only have 30 minutes. It's crazy. Now, this is where hate speech starts. Okay, fine. We can go through the political stuff really quickly because this is going to come back over and over again. It's going to be a noise. So, Civil War, it's fairly obvious ideas. The centralism is another way to call what I now call authorism, because authority doesn't have an ism yet, and authority is everywhere. It's like a new form of cancer, and I just say it's just the clock is just a phase in humanity until we understand that authority is just completely dysfunctional and useless. But now we're making history, right? It's a new thing for us, so we're just gonna kind of keep it as it is, and it's gonna be new thing when we establish a new system. Authority will come eventually, and it's gonna be new, and we're gonna replace it eventually as well. So what's going on now? We just need to survive it, and that's when I launched Zombie Apocalypse Survival. Because when you realize the clock and you realize that we have like 50 years of this nonsense, we can just figure out what principles to follow, keep our sanity alive. There's almost everyone is like losing their sanity. If you really think about it, everyone's complaining about it at least, and there are people who don't have sanity to complain about it in this case. So this is crazy what's going on. I am not going to lose sanity anytime soon. I just can't even see what could cause anything negative in my life except for popularity. Popularity is still like cringy idea for me. Punch you for science. Now vaccines come alongside with this, and are they over yet? Because there's no common sense with vaccines at all. No common sense. You literally have to trust your authority, and if you trust, you have to know how to build trust, which is very complicated by itself. And when you build trust, they still have to have authority in the first place to trust it. It's just, and even then, like, in the end, most of the people don't have trust and authority, and whatever they receive is gonna be either a deadly shot or just possibly a useless thing. And maybe 5% is gonna be useful 5% of the time for one disease that you might never get. It's like zero common sense in this one. And we don't even have a clear understanding of how diseases and how the best way to actually protect yourself is just to build up immunity instead, and not, like, what the fuck, and not get addicted to that. Like, this is so stupid. Any medicine of any kind, you shouldn't get addicted. Now, obviously, because vaccines just come only once in your lifetime, you just feel protected. But it's literally not, because you're not even properly simulating the disease. The disease is not going to come in a form of vaccine. So how do you simulate it? How does your body know where the disease comes from and how to build an immunity system? If it gets misinformed, it might build an immunity system that attacks your body. Like, Jesus Christ. You have no idea what happens to the body when you feed it illogical behavior. You want to live forever? Well, try again. Punch you for science, because the science is going to punch you over and over again whenever it feels like it's capable of getting away with it, because it has authority. Whenever you trust authority blindly and untested, they will just nudge the numbers. Poof, you're their slave now. That's it. Or nudge the storytelling, whatever. Nudge the proof of work. They have authority. They can do whatever. And obviously there's something that has to verify all of this. And verification is yet unknown thing for us at the moment. I believe that I should be verifying in a way, because I'm the theorist. I'm the one who actually collects all of the information and is capable of comparing information with what's consistent in the world and what makes sense. Verifying is basically making sure that the evidence is good enough to support the claim, right? If there's a meteor coming, there has to be enough evidence of meteors coming in the past or similar events happening that would cause something as big as a meteor to come down. But now, as I collect all the information, we don't even know the shape of the Earth. That's the conclusion, guys. We don't even know if we are protected by a dome or not. We can't even shoot a nuke through or cast anything because we imagine there's some kind of radiation field, or maybe there's a dome. You know, it's like, God damn it. Meteors? Planets colliding with other planets? Good luck with that. Can't even answer some simpler questions, and this is a verification of science. Right? I'm more useful than science in a way because I'm also useful. And the more science you get, the more of me you actually need. Of theories. The conspiracy theories are always going to grow the more science there is, because there's always going to be a need to verify it. Good luck with that, guys. Good luck dodging conspiracy theories, because the moment you silence conspiracy theories, there's, again, plenty of science to attack all of a sudden. You need to reinvent those conspiracy theories. Obviously, most of them might be unclean, or whatever. So, why science hides flat Earth? Why does it hide it? What is it? High conspiracy theories. It doesn't really hide it. One particular idea that I came up with is like we need a scientific information about you pushing an object, right? So what is actually pushing an object? Is your consciousness? But we cannot test it with science because we don't. Science needs plenty of ideas of how to test things, right? So it has to have a question first. Is there consciousness? And then we have to start questioning how we can test it. But most of the time, science is what it's going to do is, oh, I'm pushing an object, and it's just going to zoom in into the hand, into that part where the object is pushed, and it's like, that's science right there. Yeah, now I can see what is pushing the object for sure now. And it's not really hiding, it's really unaware of things. The science is really unaware because they're just doing their own little thing. They're really, really focused on their own little experiments and getting their own little results and trying to be not biased, but at the same time, they're very narrow-minded. Scientists have to do that in order to run successful experiments and kind of unbiased experiments at the same time. So they don't hide it, they're just incapable of being aware of it, right? And you can justify it at the same time, right? It's just scientists, that's what they do. They just are ignorant to a lot of things at the same time. And that's where I'm gonna end for today. God damn it. Until I finish all of these, the entire rewind, I can't make the next video, so oh boy. Just gonna make a few videos of those. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.